This is a Ford Mustang, and today I'm going to show you exactly why yours might be running hot. Overheating is a common Mustang problem, one that can ruin your drive and your engine if ignored. We'll break down the most frequent causes, from simple DIY fixes to issues that need a pro. By the end, you'll know how to diagnose and solve overheating, whether you drive a classic or the latest model. Stick around for all 7 chapters. Some causes might surprise you. Let's pop the hood and get started. First up, the most common and easiest fix for an overheating engine: low coolant. This is a problem that almost every car owner will face at some point, and it's usually the first thing you should check if your temperature gauge starts creeping up or you see a warning light on your dashboard. Coolant, also known as antifreeze, is absolutely essential for keeping your engine at the right temperature, especially during hot summer days or long drives. Coolant absorbs engine heat and carries it to the radiator, where it's released into the air. Without enough coolant, your engine can't cool itself properly, and temperatures can rise quickly, leading to serious problems. Even a small drop in coolant level can make a big difference in how well your cooling system works. Always check coolant when the engine is cold. Never open a hot radiator cap. Hot coolant is under pressure and can spray out, causing burns or injuries. Wait at least 30 minutes after shutting off the engine before you even think about opening the cap. Look at the overflow reservoir. The level should be at or above the min cold line. Most modern cars have a translucent tank with markings, so you don't even need to open anything to check. If the level is below the minimum, it's time to add more. If it's low, top it off with the correct coolant for your Mustang. Never mix types, and always use distilled water if you're diluting. Using the wrong type can cause chemical reactions that damage your cooling system, so double-check your owner's manual or the label on the bottle. If the reservoir is empty, add coolant to the radiator too, but only when cold. Pour slowly to avoid air pockets, and make sure you don't overfill. After topping off, run the engine for a few minutes with the heater on high to help circulate the coolant and remove any trapped air. Remember, coolant doesn't just disappear. If it's low, you probably have a leak somewhere in the system. Ignoring a leak can lead to bigger issues down the road. Check for puddles under your car and monitor the level over the next few days. Even a small drip can add up over time, so keep an eye out for any signs of moisture or sweet-smelling liquid on your driveway or garage floor. Common leak spots include hoses, the radiator, and the water pump. Sometimes leaks are obvious, but other times you might need to look for crusty residue or wet spots around hose connections and clamps. Fixing the leak is the real solution. Topping off is just a temporary fix. If you're not comfortable making repairs yourself, take your car to a trusted mechanic as soon as possible. Using the wrong coolant or tap water can cause corrosion and clogs, making things worse. Always use the recommended coolant and distilled water to protect your engine and cooling system from long-term damage. Stay vigilant. A small leak can quickly become a big problem. What starts as a minor inconvenience can turn into a major repair bill if left unchecked. Low coolant is simple to fix, but ignoring it can lead to major engine damage, overheating, and even complete engine failure. Take a few minutes to check your coolant regularly. It's one of the easiest ways to keep your Mustang running strong for years to come. Next, the thermostat, a small part with a big job. It controls when coolant flows from the engine to the radiator. If it sticks closed, coolant can't circulate, and your engine overheats fast. Signs include a rapidly rising temperature gauge and a cool upper radiator hose while the engine is hot. Sometimes your heater will blow cold air even as the engine overheats. Replacing a thermostat is straightforward. Drain some coolant, swap the part, and use a new gasket. Make sure it's installed in the right direction. Bleed air from the system after replacement to avoid new problems. Thermostats are cheap, but ignoring a bad one can destroy your engine. If you suspect it's stuck, just replace it. It's not worth the risk. A working thermostat is essential for a healthy cooling system. The radiator is your Mustang's main heat exchanger. It cools hot coolant by passing it through thin tubes and fins using airflow. External clogs, like leaves or bugs, block airflow. Clean the radiator gently from the engine side with a hose. Internal clogs from corrosion or mixed coolants block coolant flow. If flushing doesn't help, replacement is usually the answer. Leaks are another common issue, especially at plastic end tanks or seams. To find leaks, use a cooling system pressure tester and look for drips or hissing. Stop leak products are temporary at best and can cause more harm than good. If the core is leaking, replace the radiator, don't try to patch it. A healthy radiator is critical. Don't ignore signs of trouble. Regularly check for debris and leaks to keep your cooling system efficient. If you notice overheating, inspect the radiator early in your troubleshooting. Radiator issues are common but fixable with the right approach. Don't cut corners. Your engine depends on it. The water pump is the heart of your Mustang's cooling system, keeping coolant moving through your engine and radiator. Without it, the engine's temperature would quickly spiral out of control, leading to serious trouble. The pump's job is to circulate coolant continuously, drawing heat away from the engine and sending it to the radiator, where it can safely dissipate. If the water pump fails, coolant stops circulating and your engine overheats in a matter of minutes. You might notice the temperature gauge climbing rapidly or even see steam pouring from under the hood. Overheating can happen so fast that you may not have time to react before damage occurs. Most water pump failures are caused by worn bearings or seals. Listen for grinding or whining noises coming from the front of the engine. These are classic signs of a failing pump. Also, check for coolant leaks at the weep hole, a small opening designed to let you know when the internal seal is failing. Even a small drip can be an early warning. A failed bearing can also cause the accessory belt to slip or shred, which can knock out other vital systems like the alternator or power steering. If you notice a squealing belt or find pieces of rubber in the engine bay, don't ignore it. This could be a sign your water pump is on its way out. Sometimes the impeller inside the pump breaks or corrodes. When this happens, the pump may still spin, but it won't move coolant effectively. This is especially common in older pumps or those exposed to poor quality coolant. The result? The engine overheats, even though there are no obvious leaks. This kind of failure can be tricky to spot. You might not see any coolant on the ground, but the temperature gauge keeps rising and the engine starts to run hot. If you're stumped by overheating with no visible leaks, the water pump could be the hidden culprit. If you suspect the water pump, check for leaks, listen for unusual noises, and feel for play in the pulley. Any of these symptoms mean it's time for a closer inspection or a trip to your mechanic. Replacement is the only real fix. Water pumps aren't repairable. Swapping in a new pump restores proper coolant flow and protects your engine from overheating. It's a job best done sooner rather than later. While you're at it, it's a smart move to replace the thermostat and radiator hoses too. Since you'll already have the cooling system apart, new parts can help prevent future breakdowns and keep your Mustang running cool. Don't ignore water pump issues. They can lead to catastrophic engine damage, including warped cylinder heads, blown gaskets, or even a seized engine. The cost of a new pump is nothing compared to a full engine rebuild. Regular inspection during routine maintenance can catch problems early, saving you time, money, and headaches down the road. If your Mustang overheats and you can't find a leak, don't overlook the water pump. It's often the hidden cause behind mysterious overheating. Keep coolant circulating and your engine protected. Your Mustang's life depends on a healthy water pump. Now, let's talk about cooling fans, the unsung heroes that keep your Mustang's engine temperature in check, especially when you're crawling through city traffic or idling on a scorching summer day. Without a properly working fan, your engine can quickly overheat, leading to costly repairs and frustrating breakdowns. Older Mustangs rely on mechanical fans with a clutch, which are driven directly by the engine. Newer models, on the other hand, use electric fans that are controlled by the car's computer system. Each type has its own set of potential issues, but both are absolutely critical for keeping your engine cool when you need it most. If the fan clutch on a mechanical setup fails, the fan won't spin fast enough when the engine gets hot. This means your Mustang could start to overheat, especially at idle or in stop-and-go traffic. You might notice the fan feels loose or wobbly, or you might hear a constant roaring sound. Both are signs the clutch is worn out. Electric fans, while more modern and efficient, can fail for a variety of reasons. The most common culprits are a bad fan motor, a faulty relay, a blown fuse, a malfunctioning temperature sensor, or even damaged wiring. Any of these can prevent the fan from turning on when your engine needs it most. The classic symptom of a cooling fan problem is overheating in traffic or at low speeds, but running perfectly cool once you're cruising on the highway. That's because at higher speeds, air naturally flows through the radiator, helping to cool things down even if the fan isn't working. When you start troubleshooting, always begin with the basics. Check the fuse and relay for the fan circuit. These are easy to access and inexpensive to replace. If you have a similar relay in the fuse box, try swapping them to see if the fan comes to life. Next, test the fan motor itself by applying 12 volts directly to its terminals. If the fan spins up, you know the motor is good and the problem lies elsewhere in the circuit. If it doesn't, the motor is likely bad and needs to be replaced. Always check if the fan actually runs when the engine is hot. If it doesn't, you've zeroed in on the issue. Sometimes the fan might work intermittently, so observe it for a few minutes as the engine warms up. For electric fans, if the basics don't solve the problem, dig deeper. Test the temperature sensor that tells the fan when to turn on and inspect the wiring for any signs of corrosion, damage, or loose connections. A faulty sensor or broken wire can easily keep your fan from working. With mechanical fans, look for wobbling, excessive play, or a fan that spins too freely by hand when the engine is off. A constant roaring noise at all speeds can also mean the clutch is stuck engaged, which isn't good for efficiency or cooling. If you suspect the clutch, compare the resistance to a new one. There should be noticeable drag when you spin it by hand if it's working properly. Remember, a non-working fan will almost always cause overheating at low speeds, or when you're stuck in traffic, since there's no airflow to help the radiator do its job. Before you start replacing expensive parts like the radiator or water pump, always check the fan's operation first. It's a simple step that can save you a lot of time, money, and frustration. Quick visual checks, like looking for disconnected wires, blown fuses, or obvious damage, can often reveal the problem right away. Don't overlook the fan. It's one of the simplest fixes for many overheating issues, and it's often the first thing you should check if your Mustang is running hot. Keep air moving, keep your fan in top shape, and your Mustang will stay cool and reliable no matter how hot it gets outside. Air pockets in the cooling system are a sneaky cause of overheating. Air blocks coolant flow and can fool sensors, causing erratic temperature readings. Symptoms include fluctuating gauges, gurgling sounds, and a heater that blows cold. Air usually gets in after a coolant change or repair, or through a small leak. Bleeding the system is crucial. Use a spill-free funnel or park the car nose up, run the engine with the cap off, and let air escape. Run the heater on high to help move air out of the heater core. Watch for bubbles. When they stop, the system is likely air-free. Rev the engine gently to help dislodge stubborn air pockets. If you've just serviced the cooling system and now have overheating, suspect trapped air. Proper bleeding solves many mysterious overheating issues. Don't skip this step after any cooling system work. Air in the system is easy to fix but easy to overlook. The most serious cause of overheating, a blown head gasket. The head gasket seals the engine block and head, keeping coolant, oil, and combustion separate. If it fails, hot exhaust gases can enter the cooling system, causing rapid overheating and bubbling in the reservoir. You might see white, sweet-smelling smoke from the exhaust, steam from burning coolant, or coolant and oil can mix, creating a milky sludge under the oil cap or in the reservoir. Both scenarios are bad news. Stop driving immediately if you see these signs. Diagnosis usually requires a professional block tests or leak-down tests confirm the problem. There's no quick fix. Replacing a head gasket is a major expensive repair. Ignore it and you risk total engine failure. If you suspect a blown head gasket, tow the car to a shop, don't drive it. Early detection can save your engine. Know the signs and act fast if you see them. This is the overheating cause you never want to face. Those are the 7 most common reasons your Mustang might overheat. From low coolant to blown head gaskets, now you know what to look for and how to fix it. Always work safely and don't hesitate to call a pro if you're unsure. If this helped, hit like and subscribe for more Mustang tips. Share your overheating stories in the comments. Your experience could help others. Thanks for watching. Keep your Mustang running cool and strong. Let me know if you need further tightening or adjustments.